I'm coming at you live on tape from Sydney, Ohio. And you ever wonder who made all those iconic music for WWE before all the music got bland and generic? No? Well, too bad. I'm going to tell you about it, tell you who did it anyway. That's right. We're focusing on Jim Johnston, the man who made all the iconic music. Now, he made music for Stone Cold, for Hulk Hogan, for The Rock, for Jake the Snake Roberts, for the first WrestleMania, for WrestleMania 30, he was there for 32 years from around 1985 up until 2014. Well, I don't know if that quite equals 32 years. But anyways, he was there for 32 years. He was there for 32 years. So do some sort of math in there. 2017. He was there for 2017. So from 1985 to 2017. And he created all the iconic music. He was born in St. Louis, Missouri, where his dad worked briefly after the war. Now, it didn't say what war, considering he was born in 54, and there was both World War II and Korea. So I'm not sure which war, because it just said after the war. But his dad didn't like city life, so they then moved to his dad's hometown of Pocahontas, Arkansas, where his grandfather owned Johnston Pharmacy, and his dad and mom then bought the local Buick dealership. And he spent his childhood up until the age of 6 there, checking out farms, riding tractors, riding in the back of pickup trucks, fishing, hiking, pretty much doing anything in a small town a child can do out in the country. But at the age of 6, his father, wanting him to get a better education, moved them to upstate New York, just outside New York City, so him and his family could get a better education. Now, he lived there for a while. Now, his grandmother played the organ at church. His father loved music and constantly had a record on. He tried formal piano lessons as a child, but hated it. And he tried playing the trumpet at school and also hated it. Now you're wondering, how in the hell did this guy get into music? Well, his father bought him pretty much an old junker acoustic guitar, and he self-taught himself, kind of like how I self-taught myself keyboard. He self-taught himself acoustic guitar and loved it. And then he got himself an electric guitar and self-taught himself that, as he has self-taught himself every instrument he's ever learned. When he was an adult, he stayed in New York and did music and went to Umbridge University, where he got a degree in music. And then went on to do local commercials and I don't remember, but it was some kind of industrial films, local commercials and industrial films, to do music for them. And then a chance encounter with someone at WWF led him to meet Vince McMahon, who wanted to put music in the product. Now, Vince McMahon's father at the time said if Vince put music in the product, Vince would ruin the product. But Vince had an idea. As Vince has had the idea to take WWF National when he bought off his father, Vince had the idea to make the whole show kind of a rock show. Put music in the product. Put entrance themes in the product. So Vince hired Jim Johnston, and the first thing Jim Johnston worked on was the WrestleMania 1 theme. Now, it was all in mono. There was no stereo. And as you know, WrestleMania 1 was a huge hit. Then he started working on themes for the wrestlers. Now, at the time, only the baby faces had themes. Only the faces had themes. So, and you had to be a star to get a theme. Like the lower card guys didn't get a theme. You had to be over. You had to be over. You had to earn your theme song. So guys like Hulk Hogan had a theme. Guys like Snake Roberts, who was originally introduced as a heel, he didn't have a theme. But when he turned face, because they turned him face fairly quickly coming in, because they had him feud with Hogan for a while, and people liked him over Hogan, so they turned him face. He got a theme. Though Macho Man as a heel, he got a theme, but his theme was already a recorded piece of music. But the faces got themes. Ultimate Warrior got a theme, people got themes. And then Vince decided to just give everybody themes. And Jim Johnston, though he wasn't a fan of pro wrestling, he was a fan of the various themes he gave to pro wrestlers. He was a fan of the entrances, of the thematic elements. He tried to give them all unique themes, so that when you heard a theme, you knew who was coming out. You knew it fit the person. It was like you heard a theme, and it's like just the opening notes. You're like, oh, it's this person, or oh, it's this person. It fits them perfectly. I don't remember how he described it, but that's how he tried to do it. And there's actually DVD made about him from WWF before they fired him in 2017, which we'll get into in a minute, where he describes how he makes the themes. And I also on the Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, he went into how he made the Ultimate Warrior's theme. And he doesn't talk about the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. He just talks about how he made the Ultimate Warrior's theme. He was also on a couple other wrestling DVDs where he talks about themes, the theme music. Due to his creating this theme music, he has a number of platinum albums. He has a couple platinum albums. He has several gold albums. He has several silver albums, which are all the WWE theme music albums, which sometimes he worked with artists, sometimes they're just the straight theme music. But when WWF was red hot, these theme music albums sold like crazy. So he is a platinum selling artist. He also got to work with big names such as Aretha Franklin, Motorhead, Kid Rock, Little Richard, people that other artists just dream of working with. Now, sadly, his run came to an end in 2017 when he was fired by WWE. I originally thought he retired, but no, he was actually fired. He said that someone had been trying to get him out for several years, and they finally succeeded in getting him fired. He says he was approached by AEW, though, at one point about coming in and doing some theme music, but they never called him back. Nowadays, he's relaunching his website, JimJohnston.com. Cheap plug for JimJohnston.com. He did not pay me to plug that. It's not the greatest website right now, but maybe in the relaunch it'll be better. He's also working on a CD of orchestral music. I have no idea if that's out. Didn't look it up. He says about modern wrestling themes that they're just too generic. Except for a few big names, modern wrestling music is just, it's too generic. You can't tell who's who. So that is basically the life story of Jim Johnston, the man who for 32 years did all the music for WWE. He plays a bunch of different instruments, and he did all the music for WWE that is so iconic. The man deserves to be in both the WWE Hall of Fame and some sort of musical Hall of Fame, just because of the pure volume of work he created. Join me next week, where we'll go into some other piece of wrestling history.